York's classic rock, Q1043.
Gene Simmons is with us this morning here at Q104.3. Good morning, Gene.
Good morning, Gene.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Oh, your Robin Williams imitation there.
Oh, love that.
What a great
Just
movie he
love
was, and
that.
what a great performance that was.
Yeah.
And of course, you are no stranger to great performances. You've performed all over the world for half a century now. And it hasn't slowed down for even 1 minute. And KISStory will, of course, premiere as a highlight of the Tribeca Film Festival, and then later in the month, everybody will be able to experience the 4-hour, 2-night special event on Sunday, June 27th, and Monday, June 28th at 9 o'clock on A&E. So, Gene, you Queens guys, I mean, this is really so exciting. The Statue of Liberty, the Tribeca Film Festival, this is all a very big deal. And fundamentally, we're talking about two guys from Queens and their assorted friends through the years and colleagues that had some big dreams.
You're right. And somebody pointed out to me, like, wow, what a ride and all this kind of stuff. And I couldn't explain it to them that from my perspective, it's even crazier. So I finally think I have the words to describe it. So there's a rocket going up with an astronaut going to the moon or someplace out there. And everybody's watching this astonishing spectacle, the thing, the pyro and the rocket going up, and they're describing it to the astronaut. Boy, it's amazing. You never saw anything like it. He goes, oh yeah? From my perspective, looking down on the planet going down, you have no idea. It's just beyond anything, especially for a kid that wasn't born in America. I was born in Israel. I know I don't look Swiss. And and English was my third language. So I couldn't see, I talk like this when I come like that. And so this KISStory thing is really a celebration of the American dream, if you really want to get to the nitty gritty. And I don't mean just the dirt band. You see what I did there?
Yes.
Very, very
yes,
cool.
Yes, their cover of Mr. Bojangles was awesome.
Jerry Jeff's his
Yeah.
version was the right one, not the washed out nitty gritty, God bless them, version.
Gene, are
Yeah.
there any big revelations in this movie that are going to shock us? Because, I mean, you've done enough of that over the years.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, in a very real way, when Catholics have a personal sort of confessional, they go and they say, Father, please forgive me for I have sinned. Never mind the fact that he may have his own very young skeletons in his closet. You see what I just did there?
Yes, we did.
This is a warts and all documentary. It is the story of an American dream of four knuckleheads off the streets of New York who decided to put together the band they never saw on stage. No holds barred, no rules, no nothing. Wear more makeup and higher heels than you ever did. And just, take no prisoners kind of approach. But also because you respect and love the fans, you got to come clean. You got to tell the stories, warts and all. And we pull no punches about how some of our guys succumb to the cliche of cliches: drugs, alcohol, dysfunction, arguing about stupid stuff. And I'm no different, by the way, even though I've never been high or drunk in my life, literally, or smoked cigarettes, which is why at 71 I can hold my hand in front of my face. It doesn't do that. God bless. It doesn't do that because I've never used the stuff. As a personal choice and as an homage to my mother, who survived Nazi Germany as a 14-year-old daughter, I know without her here, I would have veered to the dark side. So the documentary really does us a service instead of a disservice, which is we have to come clean. Before the game is over, you got to come clean with the fans who you love and respect and thank for making our lives possible. You guys too. Without your listeners, you wouldn't be here. So you owe we just work here. You owe them everything. Least of all is the truth. And that's what the documentary does. It just is going to upset some fans. But it happens in families too, when mom sits the kids down and says, okay, kids, Your father's a drunk. He's a loser. He's losing his job because he doesn't love himself enough to get straight, and he doesn't love the family enough. You got to tell the truth. Tough love is the best way to be with your loved ones. By the way, also with people you hate. Just tell the truth, good, bad, or otherwise.
Well, Gene, the band had an amazing rise. It rose all the way to the top, and then, yes, you are correct. There was a time when you flew maybe a little too close to the sun and came crashing back down to earth. But that is not unique in the annals of rock and roll or other forms of entertainment or general life for that matter. What is unique is how you were able to get up and rise to the top again and then stay on top for a long time, entertaining people all over the world. One thing that people, even people who are skeptical about KISS, people who were not KISS fans, one thing they almost always agree on when you talk with them is that people who buy a ticket to go see KISS are going to see a show.
Right.
They're going to see a show. They are never going, the KISS fan is never going to be disappointed. But you did that. You rose to the top, you fell down, and you got back up and went to the top again. That's tough. Doing it twice is tough.
And it goes back to our childhood, certainly mine, when I was so disappointed by seeing, you have a hot child somewhere in the city, bag about, wow, John Sabat, great. And when I went to see The Spoonful and all kinds of bands live, Tommy James and the Shondells and so on, they just played, they stood in front of their microphones and just played the songs. I was cheated. I brought my eyes to the event as well as my ears. Give me something. So it wasn't until the English bands, I know Hendrix was American, but he made it in England first. It wasn't until Hendrix started burning his guitar and smashing his and humping his, which has nothing to do with songs, it's stagecraft. If you're getting up on that stage, you're titillating the eyes, and your music is supposed to, seduce the ears. Audio, visual, it's not unique. And that art, very few people rose to the top. To the point, by the way, where Vince McMahon, the WWE guy, and Linda, they said, we looked at KISS and we saw the pyro and all that stuff. Why don't we put that with wrestling? Good idea. Smart idea. Have wrestlers do that stuff, but also add more stuff. Always give people more. My philosophy about entertainment in general is the Cracker Jacks box. I used to buy it as a kid. Caramel popcorn and peanuts and stuff. Tasted good. Not enough for me to keep going back and buying it over and over again.
And there were never enough peanuts at the bottom. There were never enough peanuts, and they were always at the bottom.
And funny enough, the popcorn cost was more expensive to make than the peanuts. Peanuts you just threw in. You had to caramelize the popcorn. I bought it because of the prizes. You never knew what you were going to get. A plastic horse, a little flying saucer, whatever it was. It didn't even have to be great. It was like, I can't wait to get that. First thing I would do is open it and look for the prize before I ate the popcorn and the peanuts. And KISS is sort of like that. KISS is like Cracker Jacks boxes, because there's always another something you get for free through a Marshall amp on 8-inch platform heels. That's what that's what we are.
Gene, who was the first you saw in concert, and how old were you?
I was 56 I was probably 13 years of age, and I was in Queens. I had yet to meet Paul or anybody. And I remember, the Beatles were on top. That She Loves You and Ed Sullivan, that immediately changed my life. And there was a Beatle tribute band at a park about 2 blocks away from the school, and everybody went. It was the afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock, right after school. And I'll never forget this. I did see the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, and the girls going, that stuff. I never saw dentists or plumbers get that just because they're in the bed. Oh, please have my baby, I mean, really. And then this tribute band is on stage. They're nobody. They're just doing those songs. Yeah, we talk like that. She lost your love, and I saw her yesterday. And the girls they're going crazy. I'm going, that's a good job. I gotta grow my hair and take the dry. What is it that women and men do their get the
The
creases
iron?
out of only the iron. Couldn't think of it. Yeah. Get the Jufro straightened out, iron my hair, don't make it look like pubic hair. Just get that stuff. I want to be in the Beatles too. I swear to you, as I sit here and live and breathe, I dreamed or I dreamt that I was in the Beatles. I'll never forget the dream. We were on 34th Avenue and 82nd Street, and there were 5 guys in the band, and I had the Beatle locks and everything. Yes, I have lots of hair on my head. And we're running down the street just like Hard Day's Night, and the girls are chasing us, and I'm talking like that. John, you talk like that, it's magic. And we're running because, and we're running up the stairs at Roosevelt Avenue and 82nd Street to get away from the fans. I dreamed I was in the Beatles. And in fact, when I first started singing in bands, they're going, "Where are you from?" "Well, I'm not from here."
Well, that was true.
Of course. And
That was true.
so I reinvented myself. In fact, I was born Chaim Vitz. I decided I wanted to be Gene Simmons. Very few things in life are choices. Your skin color is not a choice. Your religion is not a choice. But in the areas you can change if you want to. Invent yourself. Don't just be just don't be a clone of mom and dad. If you don't want to be, you can invent yourself, and that's what I did. I invented Gene Simmons.
Gene, have you ever spent any time with any of the actual Beatles?
Yes. I had on my 70th birthday, Ringo sent me. Gee, I wish I could play it for you. A few other folks, but for me, it was Ringo singing "Happy Birthday" to me. Oh my God! And I remember
that must have just been crazy awesome.
God. Well, I'll tell you an even crazier story. Is 2 crazy stories, and I'll be short. In the disco days, I used to go out with Cher, wonderful, classy lady, and we lived together. So she used to have these skating disco parties at these skating things, disco music, and people would be on skates. I don't want to, you don't want to see Jews on skates. So I'm sitting on the sideline while everybody's skating around. Ursula Andress is going by, and all the stars and everything. And I'm just sitting on the side watching the action. And Cher's off someplace. And 2 teenagers are coming towards me, 17, 18. One's wearing a KISS t-shirt with the glitter and all that kind of stuff. And they come over, and I'm going, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" We're such big fans and everything. As they're talking, I'm looking over their shoulder. Oh, Ringo's starting to walk towards us. Oh my God. And they're talking, "Yeah, can we have your autograph?" I'm going, excuse me one second. I'm bereft. I don't know what to say and everything. And he comes up and put his arms. "I hope my boys aren't touching you. They're big fans." I go, "Oh my God, kill me now." I've reached the heights. And years later, when there was a Hollywood party where everybody thinks they're important, so only those people go. And I was there with my beloved Shannon, and I'm eating salads and everything. And Ringo was coming over. I'm a much bigger guy than Ringo. I'm 6'2", about 235. And she says, "Ringo's coming over to say hello." I put my salad down, and as he came over, I didn't know what to do. So I picked him up off the ground, and his face is this close to me. "Ringo, I haven't seen you." And he goes, "Please put me down." So, because his legs are, so I put him down. He says, all right. Yeah, see, like that. And then Shannon turned to me and said, "You got a Godzilla-sized piece of lettuce hanging out of your teeth while you're smiling." I'm going, "Oh my God."
Oh, but I mean, talk about an awesome memory. I mean, from the Ed Sullivan Show to seeing the Beatles tribute band in the park with the girls going crazy over them, and deciding that what you wanted to be was a Beatle, and then actually having one of the Beatles as a friend. I mean, Gene, what a life.
Yeah.
What a life.
And it ain't over, because we've got a Netflix movie later in the year called Shout It Out Loud, with the director who did the last Pirates of the Caribbean. He's doing the next one as well, and he directed the Maleficent, that all CGI movie that's magnificent with Angelina Jolie. So he's our director. Really great. You got Mark Canton, a former studio head. It's going to be a great film. Looking forward to it. And we've got this 4-hour documentary, which is the headline at the Tribeca Film Festival, which is why we're here in New York. And I've got to tell you, we put together the band at 10 East 23rd Street. It took us about a year to go 10 blocks up and headline Madison Square Garden. And I'll never forget this. Everybody played there. Elvis and, you just Madison Square Garden. And when we played there in the 70s, 3 shows sold out, broke all kinds of records and everything. I took a cab to Madison Square Garden earlier on, and they started selling tickets, and there were 2 opening bands and all that. As a matter of fact, Billy Squire's band, Piper, opened the show. I went to the front, and I had tickets, and I walked through the front and through the crowd because I wanted to feel, that sort of from the people, and walked backstage, put on makeup, and stepped up on stage. Kind of a rites of passage, the gauntlet of that stuff. I didn't want to lose that touch, the magic of, yes, you can be a fan, because everybody that became famous was once a fan of somebody. Don't lose that innocence, that connection. And I still remember that. Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, I got to go put on makeup. What do you mean? You got to put on makeup? Well, I'm in KISS. What? And then you start, I'm in the Beatles.
Well, KISS was already very, very famous the first time that I met Paul Stanley. I met Paul Stanley at the Bottom Line. I forget who was performing there, but I was sitting right at the table across from Paul Stanley. I was introduced to him as Paul. Oh, and this is Paul. That's all. I didn't know until the next day that the guy sitting across the table from me was the famous Paul Stanley of KISS.
You didn't know the guy with the big heels and the huge hair was in the band, right?
Well, there were a lot of big heels and big bouffants at that time.
That's true. That's true. And they all bought their stuff from Granny Takes a Trip on 59th Street. Yeah.
Well, we have a lucky group of Q104.3 listeners who won special invitations to the exclusive screening of KISStory at the Tribeca Film Festival. Then, of course, there is that amazing live performance by KISS that is a part of the festival. And then remember, later this month, because nobody's left out, the 4-hour, 2-night special event, KISStory, will be on A&E. That's Sunday, June 27th and Monday, June 28th from 9 until 11 o'clock at night.
Speaking of TV, we know Gene Simmons, the rock star. I'm wondering about Gene Simmons at home. What on earth does Gene Simmons watch on TV?
Well, actually, we had a reality show called Gene Simmons Family Jewels that lasted 8 years on 167 episodes. I am the most boring person you would want to have dinner or hang out with. I'm cake and cookies are my crack. I like Wonder Bread and tuna fish sandwiches.
Oh, like Jim Kerr. Go on. Go on.
Yeah, right, Jim?
Yes, okay, I love it. I got tuna salad last week and a loaf of Wonder Bread with the balloons on the wrapper.
Just a second. It's not tuna salad. It's tuna fish salad.
I know tuna fish. I understand.
All right, but pull back the curtain some more. What else do we know at home?
And I watch on TV. I've watched Twilight Zone binge watches 10 times easily. I can quote you Psalm and verse. I know that Rod Serling wrote Planet of the Apes and Requiem for a Heavyweight with Anthony Quinn. All this minutia. And I do 2 or 3 things at the same time. If a lyric hits me, I'll do that. And I'm either reading Wall Street Journal or, a book or something and watching TV because my mind works that way. And so, in terms of, I could sit in a room and bore you to tears with minutia and trivia from Australopithecus afarensis that was discovered in the Olduvai Gorge in Tanganyika by L.S. Leakey to existential philosophers, Nietzsche, Kierkegaard, all the existential guys. You can argue until you're blue in the face about what is life, what does it all mean? Do I have my mother's hips? Which is, of course, a very important issue, right?
Right.
There's a good book about Kierkegaard written by Dr. Catherine Ramsland. You should check it out
All right, now you're
on
showing up.
Amazon.
You're showing up. Come on.
What is the title?
Gene, Gene, I was showing off.
You were showing off.
But it is by
Blatantly.
Dr. Catherine Ramsland. I can't remember the title of the book right now.
Oh, you can't. I'll find it. The interesting thing about the existentialists are they actually bring up, the rest of the people are saying, what are you talking about? They bring up questions we don't think about, the nature of existence, what it all means, and maybe there is no meaning. And it depends on who's telling the story that determines what route you're taking and which exit you're coming. And at the end, you draw your own conclusions. It's a very strange point of view, but it's perfect.
Engaging the immediate. Engaging the immediate.
Engaging the immediate.
Engaging the immediate.
I'm going to put that right into my KISS cell phone because, as you know,
I haven't looked that up. That just popped into my brain. I believe that's the title. It's been, years, but
engaging
the immediate. The
I
immediate.
love that you have a KISS phone.
Engaging
Of course
the
you have a
immediate.
KISS phone. Do you have a KISS coffin?
Yeah, we have KISS caskets.
No. Are you going to use a KISS coffin?
Well, I was going to do the joke first. We make KISS condoms. We make KISS caskets. We'll get you coming and we'll get you going.
Okay.
But I don't have a point of view, and it's not important to me what happens after I croak. It really doesn't matter, and I won't know anything. So I'm okay with going up. It'll be very KISS-like if you go up in a funeral pyre with the fire, to quote Jim Morrison. I'm okay with just being dust and being tossed into the ocean, or just, on a garbage heap. I'm not sanctimonious about any of that stuff. We're all just passing through, and maybe the only thing we can hope for, all of us, is to leave the world just slightly better than when we came into it, and the rest doesn't matter. But I strongly urge everybody to buy a KISS casket. Absolutely.
Of course you do.
We also make, I swear to God, if you prefer the other way of going with fire and everything, we do make a KISS urn.
Oh.
You can get
And I have dined at your restaurant in Los Angeles in Terminal 5.
Well, we have two. Thank you. We at Rock and Brews, we have two. One at Terminal 1 and Terminal 5, and they're across America. And the American dream, where else can a former yeshiva bacher rise to the heights, stick his tongue out, but only when the floor is clean, because you don't want to pick up dust mites and everything from the floor. Because it is prodigious. I will tell you, the astonishing thing about my oral appendage is that it has a spin cycle, and it can whip up a good goddamn froth. I'll tell you that.
Gene Simmons, our old friend. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to spend time with you. You are always engaging and entertaining, and I can't recommend KISStory more, which will premiere Sunday, June 27th, 9 o'clock. It's a 2-night event on A&E, and there are special guests on it as well, like Dave Grohl, for instance, is going to make an appearance along with a lot of other famous people and friends.
The best thing of all, we love talking with you, and the documentary, the movies, and the tchotchkes and all. That's great. Can't wait to get back out on tour. We've got 150 cities lined up. We're going everywhere, and that's the best time I can have with my pants on. I'll tell you that.
All right, Gene Simmons, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Gene.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.